Hello and welcome to Real English with Real Teachers, featuring the pronunciation pug. Today we're going to be meeting 4 non-native speakers of the English language, 2 of whom speak with a really convincing British English accent. They literally sound like they could belong to the royal family.
Oh.
And then 2 other speakers who don't. We're going to analyse the different accents and pronunciations that we find and give you some top tips so that you can sound more British. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching
Real English
with
Real Teachers.
Real Teachers.
Before we get going with today's video, we just want to let you know it has been sponsored by the lovely app CAMBLY. CAMBLY. So this is a mobile app. You download it onto your telephone and then you can connect with native teachers instantaneously. So you don't have to book a lesson ahead of time. You literally just get on the app, connect with a teacher, and you're away. It's a great app if you want to practice your pronunciation and also fluency, because you can connect with native teachers from all over the world, practice your speaking and gain more confidence. Speaking of confidence, a lot of my students use this app for exam preparation. So if you're working for the IELTS exam and you don't have a conversation partner, this is a really good solution for you. If you like the sound of that, we urge you to give it a go for free. We've left a link in the description box below, which will give you 15 minutes of CAMBLY credits. And then if you really like it, you can use the discount code below, and that will give you 10% discount on any of their price plans. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so let's jump into the interviews and see if you can detect where these guys are from. Could you describe a book that you have read recently?
Well, that's very difficult. I hardly read books in that sense. I think I've read Harry Potter, of course. I'm a primary school teacher, so you have to read some of the children. Well, Harry Potter is, of course, the main character during 7 books or something like that. And he is, well, on a quest to find something.
Why do you think that some people prefer to travel abroad than in their own country?
Oh, well, in the Netherlands it's very easy because of the weather. All Dutchmen go south. They don't go north, they don't go to Britain, but they go south because of the weather.
Okay, so they're in search for sun.
Yes.
Right.
And then lie on the beach and get tanned and, you know, like we say, like a sardine in oil. Turn around.
Oh, right. Can you describe an exercise that you know?
Running? It's just you need to. How can I describe it?
Can you describe a place that you have visited recently?
Just a place by the river, Cambridge, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice with my family, spend time, the weather was lovely.
To run, you need to you need to have a lot of energy, and after go on in the street, on to the park and just run. Usually the people do running, for example, here in England, is because they love and they are very healthy.
So the first thing that stands out to me when comparing these 4 speakers is the fillers that they use. Now, fillers are the things that we say, the sounds that we make between our discourse. So if we're speaking about something and we need to think, we say something like or so let's compare some of the fillers that these guys have been using. So we have and then we have and then we have so I think it's quite clear that or is very British, whereas doesn't really sound British at all. We don't really open our mouths that much. So a little tip to sound a little bit more British, you could use a sound like that. They're bloody good, aren't they?
Oh, well.
So as well as filler sounds, we can actually use filler words as well. For example, you know, or I mean.
You know.
Now at first, when you try to use these filler words, it's not going to sound natural for you. But what you should do is just try to force yourself to say them. So think about what you're going to say, and then before you say it, say, I love the pronunciation pug, but you know, he's a little So there you go, just a couple of ways to sound a little bit more British. It's a small thing, but it will make a big difference in how you sound. What's that pronunciation pug? You want to tell them about weak forms? You're a naughty pronunciation pug. This is something that Queenie and Prince Philip do very, very well.
Oh.
But what is a weak form? So simply put, it is an unstressed word or an unstressed syllable in a sentence. For example, if I say the sentence, I went to the shop. I went to the shop. So in connected speech, the structural words in that sentence, like articles, prepositions, I'm not pronouncing them in the same way that I would in isolation. Listen to this. I went to the shop. I went to the shop. So what's happening is we have a couple of strong forms, which are the words that I am emphasizing, like I, went, and shop. Because these words are the content words. They're telling us what is happening, who it is, what's he doing, and where is he going. The little words, the structural words, we're removing the vowel sound, the original vowel sound, and we're replacing it with the schwa. The schwa. Everyone is fascinated by this vowel sound because it pops up everywhere. It's very British. We use it a hell of a lot. God, I'm getting really hot. So let's listen together to how Philip pronounces this sentence.
I'm a primary school teacher.
Did you hear that? He didn't stress the article at all. He turned that into a schwa and he stressed the important content words in the sentence.
I'm a primary school teacher.
I'm a primary school teacher.
I'm a primary school teacher.
Now let's look at the way Maria said to in the following sentence.
I started to do competition because I started to do competition.
So did you hear that? This should have actually been a weak form because she was connecting her speech together, she was talking quite quickly, but she placed the same amount of stress on this word as she did on this word.
Because I started to do competition.
I started to do competitions. Whereas Peter would have said, I started to do competitions. I started to do competitions.
Oh.
This time I want you to listen out to the way that Queenie says the word can.
You can even do it in winter.
So did you hear that? She didn't stress can because it's an auxiliary verb. Let's listen again.
You can even do it in winter.
So in isolation it's can, but as an unstressed weak form it's can. Can.
You can even do it in winter.
Now let's listen to the way Maria says the word of in this sentence.
You need to have a lot of energy.
So she said a lot of energy.
You need to have a lot of energy.
Whereas Queenie or myself, we would have said a lot of energy. A lot of energy.
Oh.
So how can you start working this habit into your day-to-day connected speech? Well, I would recommend that you don't try and tackle a whole sentence. I would try to break it down into pairs of words. For example, you could start reading out nouns and try to make sure that every time you say an article, you're using a schwa sound. Like, I want an apple. I'd like an elephant. I'd like a bath. I want a shower. I want a massage. You could then start saying some verbs using the preposition to. I love to walk. I love to play. I love to work on pronunciation. Is that really bad grammar? I love to walk. No, I think that's fine. Okay, so you're doing really, really well. We've looked at weak forms, we've looked at filler sounds and filler words. Now we're going to take a look at the consonant sounds that these speakers are using. And in particular, we're going to focus on these 4 sets of sounds. So we have the R sound, r, r, r. We have the light L and the dark L. So we have small L, and then we have small. We have the TH sounds, and finally we have the plosive sounds. What do you notice about the way these 4 speakers use these consonant sounds?
To do running, you need to be very passionate because you need to have a lot of energy, and as well, it's quite difficult to do. I think so, in my point of view. Well, it's a good exercise because as well, it's work as a meditation, I would say. And as well, it's like a competition with your mind because you need to try to keep on all the time, and it's like I need to do my goal, and for me it's so cool.
How do you think family will change in the future?
I think family is changing all the time on the wrong way. And that's because we can't understand exactly what's mean freedom and what's mean the proper things and the wrong things. We try to put everything in the proper thing, but not everything is like Christmas Day. It's not every day Christmas Day.
Can clothing tell you much about a person?
I think so. If you buy really nice clothing, it can tell you about how much money you have. If you dress up like anyone else, you try to be fit in the group. If you just do what you want, have clothing which is different from the others, it will tell you that you have a different taste, but that you are an individual who doesn't follow the group.
What skills do you think are needed to get a job these days?
I think more manual labour. We are short of labourers.
Right.
We have to get them in, you know, from other countries, and like the Poles in Holland, they're doing manual labour, but not only manual labour, also like a mechanic or a plumber or a good carpenter.
Yeah, that's true.
Or a shrine maker, you know.
Yeah, it's always hard to find a good plumber these days, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. It's really hard to find a good plumber. I haven't flushed my toilet for 3 weeks. So, what did you notice about the way these guys were using these sounds? With the R, was anyone pronouncing it in a more American way? Were some people using their tongue to pronounce the R rather than using their lips? What about the L? Was everyone pronouncing the light and the dark L? What about the TH sound? Was everyone able to make that sound? Or were some people saying it kind of like a T or a D? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I really look forward to reading those, because in the next video we're going to be looking at the same 4 speakers, but we're going to be zoning in on their pronunciation of consonant sounds and vowel sounds as well. And another thing I'm really excited about is I'm going to introduce you to one of my students who has an amazing British English pronunciation. His name's Gabriel, he's from Brazil, and he's going to tell us some of his top tips for getting a really good British pronunciation. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give us a like if you liked it, and if you want to see more videos like this. Remember to hit subscribe and then click the little bell next to it so that you are alerted when we publish new videos. And see you again soon for another video.